Hi, I'm Leon Baker of the Leon Baker team out by the Idaho Center in Nampa, Idaho, and we on our team serve with Academy Mortgage. Thank you so much for being here today. I thought I'd shoot a video because I seem to be talking to people a little bit about rates being up. That's odd, isn't it? So I thought I would try to quantify how much it matters and what that actually means that the rates are higher. We've had several clients say, I don't know if I can really do anything right now because the rates are so high. The realtor partners we're working with are hearing the same thing. So I thought I would try to quantify how much the difference in rate means as you look forward to potentially buying a home or certainly moving up into a new home. So I kind of created a scenario which was based on a family of four purchasing a home in 2019. And let's just say that they had a $300,000 purchase price, they put $100,000 down, they ended up with a $200,000 loan amount at a rate of 3.375%. That would have generated a principal and interest payment of $884.19, and because we want to be in line with everything, that would have an APR of 3.537. All right, so that family, for whatever reason, there's a lot of them, have decided, you know what, it's time for us to move up, and we're going to move up $250,000. And so we wanted to quantify, based on that scenario, how much it would cost them extra because rates are higher than they were in 2019. And so from there, we decided, okay, well, let's create a scenario. Let's just say they paid their $200,000 loan down to $188,345. That's how much they owe. And when we do this new loan for their new purchase, they're going to end up with just over $11,000. We'll say $11,655 because that makes an even $200,000. Plus, they're going to move up $250,000 in loan amount. So we're going to base this on a $450,000 loan amount. So then I calculated $450,000 at 3.375 as if the rates were still 3.375%. That, by the way, gave an APR of 3.499. And that gave a principal and interest payment of $1,989.43. We'll learn later that we're buying a home for $650,000, and so we'd have $200,000 down payment. If I were to compare that then with the same loan amount, $450,000, $200,000 down on a $650,000 price point, and a rate of 7%, that would give us a principal and interest payment of $2,993.86. That, by the way, would have an APR of 7.169%. And so that gives us a difference of $1,004.43. So there's five numbers I want to go over today, and the first one happens to be $1,004.73, and that's where that comes from. So we're then able to quantify it costs an extra $1,004.43 to move up in this market, 2022, compared to what it was in 2019. So at least we have a number. Well, I thought, well, that's interesting. Okay, at least we know what that number is, but if every dark cloud, there is a silver lining, and so what are those? So I thought we'd quantify that. So if you're paying more interest and you itemize, on your Schedule A, you're going to be able to write off mortgage interest, and you're going to have an extra amount of interest that you've paid. I was able to quantify that to $16,403 extra that you would pay because your rate is 7 instead of 3.375 in the first year. I'm not a CPA, but I happen to sleep next to one, and she tells me to plan on 12% federal, 6% state, which works out to 18%. So 18% of $16,403 works out to $246.05 a month. $246.05, another interesting number. All right. Well, that's not quite as bad then, is it? So we're starting to take some of the edges off of this $1,004. Well, then I thought, well, okay, if the rates were 3.375%, what would the market be like? I think that part of the market is down because the interest rates are lower, are higher. And so as a result, it costs less to buy a home. But we're moving up in a down market, and that plays in our advantage. Let me give an example on the high extremes of that. If I have a home that I'm selling for $100,000 and I took a 10% hit, that's a $10,000 hit that I took to sell that home. If I have a $1 million home that I'm buying up into, and that home took a 10% hit, that's $100,000. The difference is $90,000 in my favor. So let's squeeze the bookends in a little bit for our scenario. In our scenario, we said that the home that we bought in 2019 for $300,000, we're now going to sell for $400,000. And that home, having taken a 10% hit, would have been at $444,444. How about that? So we're taking a $44,444 loss to lose 10% to sell our house for $400,000. Now we're looking at the buy up. Well, if I'm going to buy up to 650, what was that home worth? Turns out to be 722,222. So that's $72,222 that home came down to come down 10%. And that works out to $27,778, but goodness, let's just make it $27,000 difference, okay? So what I'm saying here is because the market has come down and we're buying up, we gain that $27,000 market advantage. Remember a year ago, everyone was saying, hey, I could make a premium on selling my home. I can make so much more than I even think it's worth, but I'm going to have to pay a slightly larger premium to buy the move-up house, plus probably some bid war. I can't go anywhere. And so now we're looking at interest rate, being, well, rates are high, so maybe I can't go anywhere. Well, let's take those to our advantage. So we're saying if the market is, if we're gaining $27,000 because the market's coming our way and we're buying up in a down market, well, I'm going to double that because I don't have to pay that same difference on the high side like I would have last year. So I'm going to say $54,000 is the difference that I don't have to finance because rates are high, and that's caused the market to come down a little bit. So I took $54,000 at a rate of 3.375%, came with 238.73, our third number. And that has an APR of 3.469%, by the way. And that's also something to keep in mind, isn't it? So at the end of the day, we started at $1,004 difference. We have a reduction of $246 because of interest. We have a reduction of $238 because I'm buying up in the down market, and that plays in my favor. And that gives me $519.65 is really more or less, if those both apply to you, a net monthly cost difference. It starts at $1,004, but when we account for these two things, it comes to $519.65. Well, that's pretty compelling because all of a sudden, that seems like a much more reasonable number. And I kind of thought I would stop right there, as a matter of fact. But I thought, well, let's take a look at income because that also has played a role. Certainly income's come up a little bit. Now, as I mentioned before, we're in Nampa, Idaho, and our MSA, our Metropolitan Statistical Area, is the Boise-Nampa MSA. And in 2019, the area median income for a family of four in our area was $58,915. And in 2022, it's $87,500. Well, that's a pretty significant increase. And it works out to be $2,382.08 per month for the median income increase from 2019 to 2022. Now, we work on debt ratios, and so I took a 45% debt ratio on that number, and that works out to $1,071.94. Okay? So that's where this number comes from. So I'm going to say that we have a net difference of $1,004.43 up here, right? And if I take account for these things, we're down to $519.65, but inflation's up, but so are wages. And as a result, we have $1,071 to cover this difference of $1,004.43. That's really hard to get your head around a little bit, maybe, but at the end of the day, you could say that someone in 2022 is better off to buy at 7% than the same family in 2019 at 3.375. Maybe not all those things apply to your situation specifically, but certainly the area median income has come up quite a bit. So at the end of the day, people would like to buy. They would like to buy up for a variety of reasons, not all of them financial. And it turns out that you can buy because, generally speaking, wages are up. So the why of why we're moving, like why are we moving, comes to be the question, because the financials show that you can and that you can afford to if you're an average family in the Boise-Nampa MSA. But we want to know where you're going to save because it's important. We can't just say, hey, the rates are up, so therefore I can't, because there's some really compelling reasons to think that you can move up in this market and that it makes sense to, because the house that you want to buy in that buy-up situation is on sale. Hope you engage. Feel free to give us a call if you have any questions. My number is 208-989-2174, or you could email me at leon.baker@academymortgage.com. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you have an amazing day. Thanks for your kindness. God bless you. Bye-bye.